Yeah. We love you, boy. You heard me. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Push the Rock Podcast. This is episode 4 on 4 and them. What up, though? Yeah, thank y'all for tuning in to Push the Rock Podcast. You know what I'm saying? Today, this is more revelation for the nation. Today, we touching on some things. We gonna take a trip down memory lane. You know what I'm saying? Another little small testimonial from your boy, your host with the most, J1 Bless. We're gonna go down this memory lane. But first, Crown of Glory. This is another Crown of Glory production. You know what I'm saying? And so what we gonna do is tell y'all how y'all can find us every week, all the time. Go to our social media sites: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Crown of Glory 360. Also, YouTube is on Crown of Glory 360. Like, share, subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop content. Yeah, I ran out of breath. Need to hit that gym. So, yeah, you know we come to do what Jesus do all the time. Spread love. That's the blessed way. So it's Love Day. So the title of today's topic of discussion is my Nino Brown Fantasies. You know what I'm saying? So on this episode, I'm gonna be revisiting the past entanglements and experiencing and my involvement in the drug and the dope game and how I was introduced, what was the root cause, the motivation, and my continuous participation, plus the detriments, plus what came with the detriments, run-ins with the law, enforcement, robberies, home invasions, etc. And then my final exit, my saying I'm done with it. You know what I'm saying? That when I was completely done, when it was all over with, when I surrendered it all to God and said, you know what? I'm cool. I'm done. We're going to get into that. And we're going to talk about, you know what I'm saying? We got a statute of limitations. So talking about a couple things I was involved in, you know what I'm saying? My motivation, talk about, and then I'm inviting people on who, probably used to, be ex-hustlers, used to be, dope game hustlers. You come on in and we gonna shoot you the link, and it's gonna be in the comments, Facebook or YouTube, however you choose to view today. You know what I'm saying? Link is in the comments. I'm gonna have Rico shoot me the link to my inbox for my more personal guys. I can shoot it right to you. You know what I'm saying? So get ready, man. It's about to be exciting, man. It's all good, all God. None of this is without purpose. This is not, and this is my disclosure. This is not disclaimer, and this is my disclaimer. This is not for glorification of the dope game. This is not this is definitely not for the glorification of anything illegal, anything this ain't it right here. This is for the glory of God, but this is just to show y'all, man. I'm take y'all on this ride with me. You know what I'm saying? So this should be very powerful. Thank you for tuning in. If y'all looking for the link in, y'all want to jump in on this open panel discussion after I, get my monologue and do what I need to do, go ahead, hit that link. That link is in the descriptions. It's in the comments. Smack that link. So welcome y'all, my Nino Brown Fantasies. So we love you, bro. So I ain't gonna make this long and drawn out, man. We gotta pay some bills today, so I'm gonna get right to the point. So I chose the title. The title was put on my heart, first of all, and my top 10 of movies and entertainment. You know what I'm saying? New Jack City was one of my favorite movies, right? Period. And sometimes, and I put this on everything, it was like 3 or 4 movies that, like, anybody that been in the game knows you'll mess up a pack, or you'll get fleeced, or some robbery happened, or you just down bad. You know what I'm saying? These are some of the movies that I watched to put a battery pack on me and jump up. You know what I'm saying? Jump up and get to it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Go hit the block, or, you know what I'm saying? Charge up my phone and get that to running how it's supposed to, and making calls and doing what I needed to do. But I think it's safe to start from the beginning in this dope game culture that we've been engulfed in. But I'm gonna go over all the things that influenced me. But what really got me into the dope game, what really pulled me into the dope game, into hustling. You know what I'm saying? They talk about many different gateways. Man, truthfully, it was peer influence. It wasn't really peer pressure, because I really wasn't pressured. I was just influenced by my peers in the beginning. But I didn't have a it's crazy. This story crazy. So I had a friend that like introduced me to the dope game like 3 different times. And all 3 different times it was 3 levels of him introducing me. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that, like, first of all, you know what I'm saying? The first time he introduced me to the dope game, it's my guy. He gone, rest in peace to my guy. You know what I'm saying? But the first time he had ever introduced me to the dope game, we was watching the big boys from the hood do it, and I didn't know that my man's was really trying to formulate a plan. I mean, we was kind of down bad, but I wasn't down bad like that. I was down bad like any other person from a poverty stricken neighborhood, anybody from the ghetto. But for real, my mama worked, and uh I had decent shoes and clothes, but I just didn't have all the Jordans like everybody else, and the Air Maxes, and you know what I'm saying. I didn't, and once again, just like on the gang thing, on the just like Quando Rondo, it's an identity thing. And I hadn't all the way really even in my brain. My brain hadn't even developed to the point where I was in the mode of, I'm doing this to feed my family type thing. Cause we wasn't lacking food. Like my mama Sandy Hoskins had food now. I ain't gonna blaze her like that. Like when I was younger and she was going through, a lot of people in the dope gang, they got this thing where they grew up and they had no mama and daddy, or their mama was on dope. That wasn't my story. My mama had an alcohol problem. She got in recovery long when I was about 11, 12 years old. Then I went to go live with my daddy. So, those first years through that, I was just a baby kid. I wasn't that entrenched into knowing. Only reason why I knew that we didn't have much when I was about 8, 9, 10 years old is because people made me aware of that. Like, oh, you ain't got the Jordans. You got on XJ900s and Pro Wings. You know what I'm saying? Like, the knockoff Jordans, the knockoff name brand. But I still wasn't in tune that we were poor until kids made us notice that. So that wasn't my story. Ain't like a lot of people's where they say they got in the dope game. I was actually, for real, if I think about it, I was being greedy at a young age because we had enough. Like we had enough. Now, structure, I can't really say that because ain't nothing better than having a 2-family home with a mom and a daddy. Don't get me wrong on that aspect. I didn't have any structure as far as somebody to guide me and push me in the direction of, yeah, that ain't the way to go, right? Until I started getting in trouble. But for the most part, I had clothes. We had food in the fridge. I come in the house and grab a snack. My mama gonna bring some restaurant food in, or you know what I'm saying. We went. I wasn't starving. I wasn't starving. But my man's, now this is what we had in common. Like his mother was always in the hospital all the time. She was crippled, and she had I don't know exactly what the illness was, but she had a terminal illness, and she was dealing with that. So she was never home. He was always home by herself. Their house was incredibly filthy. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a crazy time. But what we had in common, my mama was always at work or going to her meetings trying to get herself together. So she, in that sense, we was both lost boys, and that sense. Like I ain't had no daddy, no big brothers, and nothing like that. My big sister, what's up, John Paul? My sister, she was living how she was living. She was older than me, but I was still the leader. Like I had a different kind of mind. So, uh, uh, you know, like we call little girls that be shaking their booty at an early age and talking and smacking and trying to wear makeup. We call them. I was fast as a boy, a little bit, just a little bit, and but still not developmental in a lot of areas. But my guy that I tell you in 3 different phases introduced me to the dope gang. So this time me and him hanging out, and I met him and we hanging out, and one day he's like, "Hey man, we got to get some money, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We going up to the local grocers and we stealing and eat and you know what I'm saying? And I'm doing for real. I'm doing that just being cool with my boy. I ain't really had to go do that. I'm just kind of bad, a mischievous kid, and just you know, I'm like, all right, let's go do it. I got you, and I'm bold, and you know what I'm saying. But nobody let each other. But he was more on the he. I didn't know, but before we started rocking like that, he had he had an appetite for getting some money, and so he knew how to count real good and everything. So then he was like, "Hey man, you know we gon' make this fake crack up. You know what crack is?" And I was like, "Yeah," but I was like kind of knowing, but kind of lying. I really didn't. And so, but me just perfect to him, like, "Yeah, I know a little bit," and I just kind of follow his lead in the thing. He took some some candle wax and some baking soda and some ord gel. We whipped up the best batch of fleece in the neighborhood. They putting it on their tongue. They thinking it's crack because cocaine numb, and so but it wasn't cocaine. He had the ord gel. He had a dope mix, and he put it together. And we went out and we fleeced the neighborhood. And some of the big boys in the neighborhood, they had names for it, call us the Fleeter Boys or whatever. But we was like 13, 14 in, and had just started smoking weed. I was smoking weed, so I thought smoking weed made you look cool. I had a little nickname, Scooby-O Superbio, smoke all the herbio. So I was smoking weed, and I was selling rocks, but they was fake rocks. And then so that happened, and I don't know what happened. I was getting in a lot of trouble. So me and him, we hung out a lot. But then after a while, I got in trouble for some other stuff with my other guys. Some. I was into everything. So I got into some trouble with the jail. I ain't seen him for a little bit. But right then and there, we was just doing that to get a couple dollars in our pocket, and I wasn't buying nothing yet. Like I wasn't. I think I might have fake bought some gym shoes or an outfit like one time off the fake dope. And that was the first time he introduced me. Now, the second time he introduced it to me, I was about a year old, about 15, 16. I was just like really not really. I was in the gang stuff, but I really was like not really. I wasn't tripping on that. And he was like, "Yeah, man, we can't." Everybody looking at us and they talking about us, man, talking about we the Fleeter Boys and we this, that, and the other. How about man, we gonna just bang this fake stuff one time and we gonna go buy a pack. And back then they was called dubs. That mean a double up. So you spend 20 instead of just making 20 back, you make 40 or 60 deliver, figuring on how you depending on how you sold it, if you broke it down the right way. And we used to buy the dub, the guys that were selling us the pack, who was probably a few years older than us. They seemed so older then, but they sold us, and there was some older guys that sold us the little packs in the hood. You know what I'm saying? They have it already broke down. So when you sell it, you're supposed to make. They'll tell you like, bro, you're supposed to make this off this, and then when you come back, you spend that 40, you get a 40 dub, and then and they was teaching us the progress. And I did that for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't understand that. Oh, that's my phone. My bad, y'all. I did that for a little bit, and it was crazy, man, because I had a lot of short-term experiences with that. Like I said, that was when I did the little fake gym shoe got a little gym shoes, some Reeboks or something, little outfit for Easter. You know what I'm saying? Which I lied to them, like I only did like put a little money on them. I went down and snuck down my grandma's house and got some cheese for that. For them shoes, y'all. They ain't here to talk about it, but I'm just telling the truth now. But what it was, the intention was to gym shoe hustle and keep a little cash in my pocket. So
wait, so you made it seem like you got your pack off.
Yeah, I did. I perked.
Okay.
Like a little bit, but I spent that on, man. I was a kid. I bought candy, snacks and candy, and they got a special at the store. They selling wings. I bought some wings. You know what I'm saying? I got my little fake gold chains from the Chinese store, and you know what I'm saying? The fake gold, the caps they used to wear.
I remember
trying to be like the dope boys, the real dope boys in the hood. Like, and so it was crazy at that time. And I remember when I first learned about the exchange for sex and goods. Yeah, man. Me and him had our first experience with somebody who was addicted to drugs. Now just think about that, man. That's crazy. And that was like a grown person, a grown woman. And you know, she gave us a little experience, bro. And that was like, whoa, like it was crazy. So, you know, a lot of people say everybody that sell dope done mess with somebody that's addicted to drugs or that did that. I think a large majority of that is true. Not everybody. It's some people that didn't have to have those experiences. But how did I turn into Quando Rondo? You need to keep him up there. You know what I'm saying? Keep him up there. He live. So you know, I had those experiences. I did experience my first robbery. Me and my guy Marquez, you know, he got robbed. Well, the local barber, man, my guy. Oh man, that's crazy. My guy in a lot of these stories. My guy, we went down his house. He was the local barber. We cut our hair, put swirls in our hair. We coming from his house. You know, area hood, it got about 3 or 4 hood barbers. And I came from his house and we was coming up the street. It's like a dark street called Gaff. It's in Warner Hills. We coming up from the street. Somebody hopped out the bushes on us. And they knew we was fake trying to hustle. And we both ran. He got caught. I don't know if he had no money on him or nothing, but I remember they took his pages. That's back in the day when we was rocking pages. I didn't even know what I was doing. I had a page. I wasn't hitting no licks. I wasn't hitting no licks back in the day when we first started out, like how the whole
when nobody hitting your pager.
Yeah, hitting the comprise of why you have a pager. I had the honeys hit my pager. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the femaleries, that's what we called them. Had the femaleries hit my phone and pager. Like I wasn't really. It wasn't for the dope. It wasn't for the dope game. But hey, Nia, what's up, baby? And so look, this is another thing too. So I guess this was around the time because my wife, like I said, she been around for 30-something years, and she said she remember when I put her in the gang because she was like one of the first females I put in the gang that I started.
Nia, you was cripping?
Yes, she was the first person. She was the first person in the gang I had started, and first girl, and first, yep. Then there was another one, and she told me that I was so crazy. She said that I was like, yeah, what we gonna do is we gonna pimp. We're gonna pimp and get this money out. We gonna pimp these H's and get this money, and I'm gonna put everybody on with a pack. First of all, I just came off the bench of being the fleecer of the hood. You know what I'm saying? And I got us all up out of that. Even though my guy was the one he was really busting it down. He was really hustling, but I was cleaner. In my clothes. And, you know, when like I told you, we went and fake bought the Easter Fist. They got the regular Reeboks. I got the Reeboks with the gold on them. You know what I'm saying? I was that dude. Like, so it made it look like what I was talking about was real. I was purping. So that was my second time. Now my third time that my guy came back in my life, I was selling weed. I was selling weed, and I was a good weed boy. If there is a good weed boy, I mean, I was hustling. It was extra regular weed, but I was moving it. We used to stand on this corner down the way, Van and 13, and I was out there moving, and I had a connect. He throw me some weed. I buy some weed. And I started off just buying the weed, but I was moving it so much. He's like, man, you might well just take this half a pound and just move this and or whatever these couple of ounces of whatever it was, and I was moving it. And then I had my own apartment. So at this point, I kept my rent was so low. I kept that little rent paid. I was hustling. I had me a few honeys or whatever, blah, blah, blah.
How much was the rent though?
I don't want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? It was subsidized. No, close to no rent. So I was down there.
Keeping secrets.
Bro, I feel like you always trying to get me on the show and embarrass me, man. What you be doing that for? You want me to be transparent? The rent was $25.
We here for transparency. Let me fade to black.
Nah. I always got to make it interesting with our dialogue, man. Come on, man. Come on, keep it in pocket. So, yeah, man, I was down there paying subsidized rent. You know what I'm saying? Fresh out. I had been out the joint for like a year and a half. The joint being prison, and unknowingly, I wasn't in there for selling drugs. I went to jail initially for a robbery attempt that got dropped down. I copped down to a lesser charge.
You know what?
And I got.
Have you ever went to jail for drugs?
All the time.
Okay, I can't.
So I caught my first dope case on the interstate coming back from Georgia. I'm gonna get into that. My last cases was dope cases. So I caught that case, and then I got out on probation, went on run on probation, and then, with one of my guys, man, we started doing this check scam. I got caught down bad for that too. Like, I didn't know that these checks had the same serial number on them. But anyway, and then this is so crazy. I don't know what the influence of the dope game had on people, what made it cool to seem like you was selling dope, but all the stuff I was doing and the image I was keeping up, even with those checks, I was acting like I wasn't saying it, but I gave off the illusion. I'm froze. But I gave off the illusion that it was on there, but I gave off the illusion that I was selling drugs to get this money when I wasn't. But I gave off that illusion. I wasn't running around telling people like I'm scamming. I wasn't running around like I was yamming, like I was selling them yams. But anyway, back to the
what did you wait. Even I didn't understand you just said.
I said I was out there scamming, but I gave out the illusion that I was selling them yams.
What you mean you was scamming?
Scam? The check scam, robbery.
Oh, okay. My bad.
So
when you start hitting the licks on the checks, you was still perping.
Yeah, when they got the pullouts.
Okay.
I had the one big goal right there, get the pullouts.
So it's kind of like grandma again. It's like I was hustling, but I was also scamming, but I wasn't hustling I wasn't making as much money off the dope.
It looked good. I had chain. I remember I had the Scooby ring. You thought I was selling dope, didn't you? I was bad. I was Jay-Z out there. There's a bad influence. My third introduction from the same guy. That's crazy. My third time, I was 21, 22 years old. I had my own spot. I was in the most notorious hood for selling drugs. Like, if you can't make no money down there, you got to have no sense at all. This was the most drug infested area from east to the west side, from OTR to the west end. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's predominantly black and predominantly poor black people in this area. But it's predominantly a lot of drug users, and then a lot of drug users coming from over the bridge, Kentucky and Cincinnati. The state of Kentucky and the state of Ohio are gapped between one bridge. 2-3 bridges, a river, right? And
Ohio River.
And you can come over that river and get right to the city in less than 5 minutes if you live in Covington. Maybe 10 minutes if you live in Newport. Not even 10 minutes. It's 5 minutes from Newport. It's really easy to get to that part of the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was down there selling a lot of weed, and I was getting to it. I ain't had no bills. I had one bill, and that was paid because the apartment place paid the utilities, all of that, and I was doing that. But somehow, some type of weed drought hit, and it was no weed in the city. Like, it was no weed. You couldn't find no weed nowhere. Then somebody came back with some weed called Dro, and they was super taxing for that. And I had already spent up all my money. And so I went back to the days what me and my homeboys did. I went to Fleeter School. I remember one time it got so bad I sold a peanut off a brownie just to get some bread. Like, wow. You know what I'm saying? At this time, but my mind had got sold up. And so out of nowhere, my guy, man, I love this is my guy. He jumped out of the car on me one day. And he had just beat a murder case not too long before. He jumped out of the car. Cuz, what's up? Ran up to me. We hugged. He like, bro, what you out here doing? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm out here. And I told him, he like, man, he said, man, you crazy. What is you doing, bro? I said, man, I got a little spot around the corner on blah, 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 blah. He said, for real, man, take my number. And here, man, you don't need to be doing that, man. You tripping. And he gave me a pack. And that changed everything. He gave me that pack and told me to call him, and we gonna blow the spot up. I don't know what made me think that was a good idea. He gave me that pack of dope. It probably was like 3 grams. He didn't tell me, yeah, you don't owe me nothing, cuz I'll be back down here, blah, 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 blah. Gave me a pack, and I sold it. And I called him. And I said, man, I'm ready to get some money. And that just changed me from right there. That day changed everything. And he came down, and he came probably a couple days later. And I noticed he probably wanted to get away from where he was because he had just committed a murder not too long before then. He probably felt like he was gonna die out there or something, but he came down away from, he was coming from zone 15, and he was coming down away to rock with me. And we put the play together, man, and we start trapping out my house. He like, what you want to stand out here with these guys for? These guys act like they don't even like you anyway, bro. We gonna do our own thing. And we start putting the ones and twos together. And the more we grew, he was faster. Like I said, he was always faster in this area than me. Like, he was the one said, nah, we can't keep selling fake dope. We selling real dope back when we was 15. He was the one before we even got to the point of selling Fleeter that said, man, we can't keep stealing, man. We might well sell fake dope and do it. And now when he coming down, we talking one day. And he said, yeah, man, I know I done schooled you on the game a little bit, but you knew the game, but you ain't know the fundamentals. We about to get money for real. So the first thing he did, he learned how to cook coke. He learned how to cook cocaine into crack cocaine, which is a cheaper form of, crack. Was a cheaper form of cocaine with a faster, stronger, deliberate high that will cause your addiction. Like, it's an addiction you can't turn from. I rarely seen anybody that didn't have to go through numerous times at rehabs or churching. It had to be like, it's almost a miracle. It don't matter. Let people be who they is. So you know what I mean? So you know, he was moving at a pace faster than me, and on that level always. And when he hit me with this line, I'll never forget it. He said, yeah, man, this would show me then that my developmental wasn't like his in that area. He said, yeah, bro, you know the game. Yeah, we sold a little dope and we pedaled. He said, you know the game, but you don't know the fundamentals. So by then, he didn't already start selling a lot of crack before he learned how to cook. And he had already committed a murder at 18, 19 years old and beat the case. High profile. He kind of like the man around in the neighborhoods. Everybody know him. Oh, yeah, that's Shorty who caught the body. Yeah, he about that life. That up the ante for, because they, that's my people's, my cousin, my friend, my guy. I'm Scooby. He another cartoon character name. You know what I'm saying? They know him and us together always. So you see one, you see the other, or yeah, ain't you the dude that used to be with him? So automatically, I'm wearing a jacket that he wearing, and I thought that was cool. It gave me a little, because at that time I hadn't been that violent. I hadn't been known for anything, but since he got that jacket and I run with him, and that's my people's, that was kind of my a way into the production of, yeah, but you know who you know what can happen. You know what I'm saying? And I put on another jacket, and so I'm out here. We out here getting to it, and I'm watching, and I'm learning how he move. And so when he ain't around, I'm moving like how he move when he ain't around, and I'm getting to it, and I'm learning. I'm cold off my feet, and he doing him. He had a plan and a play in his head already structured that he wanted to learn how to cook cocaine and the crack, so he wouldn't have to pay all that money for buying crack. He wanted to go wholesale with the cocaine because you can make more money if you buy your own cocaine and you cook your own crack. And so he had already drew up a plan in his mind to where he is, all right, we got a little cuz spot. I'm gonna be the one cooking the dope, and I'm gonna sell the dope to them, and they can go hit their licks, and they can come buy the dope from me, and they ain't gotta buy it from nobody else, right? The only thing was I was moving too fast. Like, I was moving too fast. And I outsourced. I went out and met people. I'm a talkative, charismatic type of dude. And I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna meet people. And when you ain't around, and I can't wait on you, bro. Like, I'm gonna be broke. We had this language, like, and so he had his own people that he went and dealt with. I went and met my own, and I started to make so much noise in the spot where I was at, in the neighborhood I was at, that I didn't have to go look for nobody. They came looking for me. I had the dudes that I was buying hard from. You know what I'm saying? When I finally learned how to cook up dose, which turned me all the way into a monster. Cause see, we had a situation where my guy, you know what I'm saying, he ended up catching the case, but he had a pack, and he left his baby mama some of the pack, and he left me some of the pack, right? And the pack that I did, so he said, get this amount to my baby mama. He used to always say this when he used to put our other homies on, when they used to mess up their pack. He'd be like, that ain't my fault. I gave it to you. I need my money, right? I don't understand how I keep giving y'all this and putting y'all on like this, and y'all only making this amount of money doing this, man. He was really, really business minded, bro. Like, that was crazy how he had the whole structure of how he wanted everything done. And I mimicked that. I watched it. So when he went to jail.
So about what year was this?
This was like 2002 or 2001.
You got saved when?
In 1996.
Okay, so
this was after I said I ain't no God.
Okay, so that's why I was going to ask, where is God during this point?
God is not in the picture. I am God in this picture, in my mind. Mm-hmm. At this point in my walk, I had already, and I should have added that. At this point in my walk, see, I got saved in 1996 when I was doing the gang stuff. And then when God got me out of the situation, I was following God. I got put in a coma. God saved me out of that. Then when I got downtown, when I got down to Hell's Kitchen in the hood, and when I was still selling weed, and then I think I might have just started selling crack. And then I heard something say, Jesus ain't God. And I walked away. And that was it. And you couldn't argue with me about it. And it wasn't nothing you could say to me about it. And so I had deviated from God at that point. And it took me a long time to get back, get back in motion with God. But so at that point, we down there, and he he got he got caught. He left me some stuff. He left his baby mama some stuff.
Hold on. Before you continue, let me ask you this question. Okay, you were in a place of ain't no God. I'm cool on God. But when something horrible happens, your default is you talking to God.
Look, I'm gonna get to that. It's inside the story. I might be taking a little bit to get to it, but we ain't gonna be long with it. I got bills to pay. So, so yeah, I'm down there. I'm hustling. And matter of fact, so we gonna go right to that. So I'm down there. I'm hustling, and one time I almost got robbed. Well, I did get robbed. Ain't no almost. I got robbed, and I remember the first thing I screamed with dude got me. I said, "Jesus, please don't let me die," because dude had the burner on me, and dude just called me a ban, a BAN. Y'all figure that out, the acronym for yourself. He called me a ban, and he upped his gun, put it up, and ran off with my drugs. That happened one time. So, that was one of the times that when I turned from God and I wasn't believing in God, that I called on God's name, and me and I heard a comedian say that, Joe, a Christian comedian said, Joe, yeah, but soon as death in your face, you want to. He said even Muslims do. The first thing they do is scream Jesus. So anyway, to continue into this story, he dropped the pack. He left me the pack. I remember everything he used to do. And then one of the guys that I was buying rocks from, he liked me. He liked my personality. He said, man, hey man, bruh, you need to get some of this. You coming down here buying this for this, and all you need is like 150 more to get this, bruh. Just do it. I'm telling you, it's gonna change you. And he was not lying. Cause that next time I came back, I did it. I called one of my homeboys because I didn't ask nobody to teach me, because I remember that my guy, he had to pay people to teach him how to do it. They wouldn't teach him for free. And I'm like, I'm already spending this much money. I'm not paying nobody nothing. And I knew I had the type of personality where I'm not manipulate, but I can talk you into show me, bro. And so one of my guys that taught me how to cook crack, I mean, that they used to sell crack to me, one of my plugs, I called him when I was cooking up. I'm like, oh man, I messed it up. I dropped it in the sink. What should I do? And I called him. He said, bruh, scrape it up out the sink. You did right. Everything you said you did right. Put it in the freezer, and it froze, and boom. And then after that, I made so much money. And then after that, it was over. I went crazy wild in the dope game. And I lived a life so lawless after that. It was over with. It was so crazy that when my peoples got out of jail, because everything he asked me for, bro, you need some money? Nah. But if he needed some money, I sent it to him. When he got home, I had something for him. And when he said, man, he can't, I seen that this like one of the first times I really seen the evils from somebody that you love. And he looked at me, and I know he wasn't playing. He said, oh, you out here think you doing it. Oh, you stole my game. You learned that from, he said, knee deep in the dope game. Knee deep in he said, oh, you out here doing it. You doing this and you doing that. Man, I ought to stab you. And he said it. And then he laughed. But I know him. I done seen him strong arming. Man, look, listen. After that, we got back to the game when he was out. We built the regime back, but now it ain't the same, because now I'm my own superpower. He, him, and I, me, and I ain't riding this coattail, but we still a team. But I don't need his identity. I done built myself up a new idol. I was kind of in the idol of him and riding the wave of him, but now I've built my own idol. I've built my own. I'm my own man. I'm this is my apartment. This is my dope. This is my building. This all me. You know what I'm saying? You fighting the case. And it was so crazy. How I caught my first dope case, just like this. He was going to Florida because he didn't want to. I don't know. I had a couple guys in the game. They was on a run. They had bodies and they had got caught up with some dope cases, and they was down there in Florida. So he was taking him. He like, man, you might well run. And he was like, man, I ain't gonna run. That's stupid. But we can go to Florida and see. He's like, bro, we getting mass money down here. The dope game different, and I'm telling you, go down. And he invited me, and my initial answer was like, I don't know. I gotta talk to my little girl, my girl that I'm rocking with right now and see what she think. Cause she taught me how to count my money and everything. Like I started seeing thousands when this lady showed me how to count my money. And I went to her for a lot of stuff after that. And so, you know, when I always would go to her for advice. She was my solemn advice. Like, you think I should do that? And she
What
like,
you mean when you say taught you how to count your money?
like, I used to be like, man, I sell all this dope and do all this. I don't know why I ain't seeing the money that how he pull out bankrolls, and I don't know how they doing that. It seemed like I make all this money, but I ain't never got none. And she told me about my habits, and she told me.
So you got a financial advisor.
Yeah, and she told me this is how you do it, and if you do it like this, once you make this, then go back and buy the same thing instead of buying all that. But I'm like, but nah, bruh told me I need to put all my money into this when I do this. She like, I don't care what bruh told you. I'm telling you how you gonna see what you think bruh spending all his money and ain't got nothing to fall back. Nah, you got to do it like this. And then I seen a change. Then
she taught you how to budget your money.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I had thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't afraid to show him. My wife said she came over. She said she came over one day, and we just went off of this because my son did some crazy stuff one day. Like he had like 1 million singles, and he gonna drop them all over the floor. Like, oh my bad, I just dropped all this money and pick it up. Like, man, come on. And so she said, "Oh, he get that from you?" He said, "I remember." You couldn't wait to show me all that big box of money you had under your bed that one time. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, you remember you did this and you made up some reason to you said something. I got plenty of money, baby. Don't worry about it, baby. I was just being real slick with the tongue. And so, but this dope game thing escalated to robberies and murder and more things. And so my guy that introduced me to the dope game for the third time, and this we talk about this. We even brought my guy up a lot of times in the show, and this is a reason. And I say I love my guy Enrico, but like, but what did he add to your life? It sounded like all he did was brought negativity to your life. I don't like him, right? And now that I tell this story, I just think about it. When I learned my worst things, I did learn some of not all of it, but some of my worst things from this guy. And his the third time is what took me to I don't want to say he led me away from God, but when I got that crack in my hands, it wasn't no more God. Crack was my God. I'm selling crack, and I'm never gonna have a job, and I'm never gonna do this, and I'm not doing nothing. I'm gonna be I'm winning Hustler of the Year award, and the music and the movies and everything else added to that. And you know, after that, I seen that look in his eyes, and he told me he stabbed me because and he played it off like he was joking, but I seen my guy action before, and it rubbed me the wrong way. But I ain't never say nothing to him about it. I let it roll off of me, and I kept doing me. But I distinguished myself from him. And like, this is me, this is him. You know what I'm saying? And so now when I get down bad, I got my pistol. I kept a pistol now. I'm walking around with 12 gauges in the trench. I'm walking around with guns, and I'm robbing people now. And I used to always wonder, like, he always used to want to go on missions. And I used to be like, man, I used to look at him like, he is such a good hustler. Why you want to rob people? Why we got to do this? And we used to just go on missions. And it's crazy, man, how we was getting down, man.
Yeah, that was my next question. Like, was y'all robbing people when y'all was down bad, or was it just like greedy? Like you was selling dope and robbing.
Well, sometimes like this, the first time I went on a mission with him is because one of my guys, his car was messed up, and he, man, I gotta do something. I gotta get some money. You know what I'm saying? And little dude, my other guy, we called him little dude. Little dude, I guess he felt like he ain't have enough money. I was thinking like, well, they messed up. I'm kind of cool, but I was just with whatever, so I went. And we went there and we got greasy too. Like it was crazy. And so that happened, and that was like one of the first missions that we went on. And I was like, man, it's crazy how the dope game is, and everything that it tells, because it gives you such a rush. It's such a different feeling, such a dangerous but exciting feeling that it gave me. It made me feel like I couldn't be touched. But sometimes they call, we'd throw somebody a party and it wasn't no reason. And I always question they used to call, hey, I promise you, I put this on everything, and somebody watching that can attest this. They used to call me School Vito. In the mafia, you got to make a rule on if you want to do something, and they take a vote, right? And then they vote. If they don't want to do something, if whatever the plan is stupid or putting somebody in a position, somebody will raise their hand and say, I veto that. And then they get a vote. And if the vetoes outvote the ones who want to do agree, then the whole thing would be vetoed. How many vetoes y'all think I had? Every time I'm like, bro, nope, that's stupid. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But it was pretty even, because they called me School Veto because they say he don't want to do nothing, bro. Oh, you a hand, or you a band? All this, saying it jokingly, but really meaning what they saying, because I wasn't with all that. Sometimes you just didn't have to do stuff. Sometimes all of that wasn't necessary. And I say this, I made more money from selling dope than robbing people. And it seemed like most of the times that we were supposed to go on a mission, it seemed like most of the times we were supposed to go on a mission to get some cheese, to rob something, that I was up. Most of the times when I robbed people, I never called them. I was by myself. Like, I was mad. I was mad about something. And anger made me say, I'm about to go take something from somebody. And the people I robbed really wasn't, I really robbed people that ain't had nothing to do with drugs. Like sometimes I robbed the dope, but I ain't really never robbed I ain't set nobody up or do nothing like that. But me and my guys, that was different. There was different kind of missions. But most of the times when they was going to hit the licks, and we was going to hit the licks that they set up, it was because they messed up or they wanted more, not because. And that's why we got a lot of vetoes. But it's like at the same time, this how crazy it is. I always lied to them about how much money I had. I always told them I ain't got that much. I'm down here effed up. So this is the reason why now that makes sense in retrospect, why they would say, well, we need to go on a mission. Because I would say I ain't got that much, because I ain't want to get him nothing. Bro, y'all doing the same. Y'all taught me. We doing the same thing. And when I was down, when I was coming up, y'all made me pay for everything full price. Like, what you mean? Like, it was just crazy, man. That whole dope game illusion is crazy. And it deals with identity. It deals with self-esteem. It deals with how you want people to look at you. But man, we is out here, man. I'm talking about, man. Some of them, hey man, some of them missions, man. Some of them missions, man. Like I had a situation.
Hold on. Before you continue, let me ask you this. So, so you're already saved, but now you are backslidden, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some might say headed to reprobate or maybe reprobate or
Mm-hmm.
but what's up, Clarence? What up, Alan? But you know, the volume now, we turn the volume down, we turn it off. You can still hear the Holy Spirit from time to time, can't you?
Yeah.
How did you navigate? What are the conversations that you had, or because even
Man, you crazy. That's what it was. I smacked all kind of goal tens. You know how in basketball, when you the ball going in the hoop and they move it, they pack it when they ain't got no business. That's what it was. When the idea of that's wrong, or you tripping, God, bloop, goal 10. Not even a legal
block.
smackdown. Not a legal block up. Goal 10.
Mm-hmm.
Cheating. I ain't trying to hear that. Man, that's crazy. Why you thinking that? No, I'm getting money. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm getting this cheese, and you can see in my facial expressions if you're watching it that it's real. That's how I felt at the time. I remember that feeling. It was like I wasn't even mad at God when I turned away from God. That's what makes it so crazy. I wasn't even mad at God when I was in the dope. When I heard that voice, I was in a happy mood. When I heard the voice say, "Yeah, Jesus ain't God," and boom, that was it. And I was in the life.
Almost like your flesh was waiting for an opportunity to deny God.
Yeah, and selling dope and murder, became became it. But man, there's so many cons to this game. Like, yeah, I made a lot of money. I spent it on nothing. I did nothing good with it. If I knew those the people addicted to drugs outside of that, we have been great friends, man, because they love me, man. That's why I had that started problems with the guys on the block wanted to murder me because I had such a great personality with people. Like my man said, I was so charismatic. I had such a great personality with the people, huh?
It's charismatic.
Whatever, man.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. So I'm from the hood.
Don't play yourself.
I'm from the hood. Yo, push the rock. So I had such a likable personality that they start. Thank you, pops. So they start they start to leave the people that they regularly been dealing with and start dealing with me. I see a couple of them. One of them one of them came to me one day. It was like, it's crazy in the midst of evil that you can do good. And she came to me like, I don't want nothing. I ain't trying to do nothing. Could you just buy this dude got some shoes outside? I just want some shoes, man. I heard almost barefoot. I didn't hesitate. I ain't make her do nothing. I said, and she see me to this day. She's sober now. I hope she's still sober. I hope God still working in her and keeping her clean. And she seen me one day, and I bought her those shoes. So fast. I ain't waste no time. I don't think I even had. I said, hey, bruh, come here. Let me get them. Get them to her. And I got her those shoes. I done bought meals, and I call myself contributing. Like, if they ain't had no money, you clean my house. I like to keep a clean house. You clean my house. You know what I'm saying? You could do this for a couple extra dollars. Some of them be out 2, 3, 4 days strong, running car. They was called runners. They running the licks to you. I stop them like, I give them money. Go get you something to eat. I done let some of them sleep in the crib. This one is this one it came super trapped out. I let some go sleep on the orange couch, man. Oh, you stink. You gotta lay on the floor, but you ain't going outside right now. You tripping. You been out there bugging like you, and that's the kind of heart I had at that time. But in the same token, if you take my money or you play with my money, I could be a different person. But I never got into the beating up people that was addicted to drugs or really yelling at them and all that. It's like when you do something so blatant, like you come in my house, come in the spot and steal something, you gotta get discipline. You gotta something gotta happen behind that, or I feel like you played me or set me up or something, but like little stuff like you owe me some money. I ain't threatening your life and I'll make you work it off. That's crazy. And my man's they loved him too. Like we was like, it's crazy. It's crazy how we was so alike but so different because I never got jealous of him when he was up, but I could sense the jealousy of him and my other counterpoints when I with the so-called saying when I got up. That's crazy. And so we start going to Florida and we went out of there and I caught my first dope case and we went down there and they convinced me to go. I didn't really want to go for real because like he said, my man's told my other man, Scoob don't need to go. He up. Like he doing his stuff. Why he need to go? And I was like, I ain't up. I just want to go to see because I ain't never been to Florida before. I ain't never been out of town by myself before. Let's roll. And we went, man, it's crazy. We caught a bootleg cab from Vine Street all the way to Florida. And we paid dude, but we made him pay for his own gas. We were scat. And so we got down, we got down there and Mr. Lovable School. Now I seen them dealing with other people that came down there. They wouldn't even rock with them like that right off the drip, right off Front Street because they like, Cincinnati got a bad reputation down there. You know what I'm saying? So Cincinnati dudes from the hood anyway. And so when we was down there, they fell in love with me. We went to the club. They talked about the night before, like, man, he was crazy. I remember we was at the block at the eatery. He was in there fooling. Yeah, that's my guy. And so I talked them into getting some dope. And they gave me some dope. I bought some, they gave me some. And I said, yeah, if this good when I come back, I'm gonna come, we doing business. He said, we already doing business. What you talking about? Just come back. We want you to come back. But in the midst of that, we got caught on the road. We got caught on the road coming back with some dope. And I'm looking at the time. I need to hurry up. And we got caught on the road coming back. And things ain't go the way I liked it. Things ain't go the way I liked it. And my guy, somebody got caught. Somebody dope got found and it wasn't mine. I thought they was gonna find my dope first, and I was ready to say it's mine. Like big dummy. Like I was gonna say it's mine, but they closed the trunk. My drugs was in my pants, folded up in the trunk, but it was so much stuff in the trunk. They just said, they closed. They brought the dog. The dog couldn't even smell it. And closed the trunk, and they went in another part of the car and found the dope. And my guy, who dope it was, he didn't. Everybody said it wasn't a dope. And we all had to go sit down for that. And they eventually found the other dope in the trunk because they stripped the whole car after that. And I was just salty because we all had to go to jail because they found his drugs. And in my mind, I'm like, that's crazy. And his reasoning was, cuz in Cincinnati, this back in the day, not now, but back in the day before they changed the law, man, this is so evil, man. If nobody claim the dope, it go on a driver. I told y'all we got a bootleg from Cincinnati, and I guess dude was a user. He said he wasn't, but he sure did take some dope to go get with a prostitute. It just we kind of knew he was, but because who does that? So um, you know, we got locked up, and I was just locked up, and I was mad the whole time, and you know,
Now, is this your first dope case?
this is my first dope case, and ever in life. I was able to weave all the dope cases in the world. The task force down there, the task force down in my spot, they told me I was their new project long before that happened. And never called me, never nothing, never happened. Anytime I went to jail down on, and then they called me the boys too. Them dudes were so jealous on me. But every time they threw me in jail and took me down to their justice center for anything, they never caught me with nothing on my person. It was always for child support. And I would always pay that bond for child support and get out. Now I'm the police. Whatever. So
So the Florida trip was your
very first dope case.
First and only?
No.
Okay.
So
but you just said every time you went, you got locked
I'm
up.
talking about down there. I gotta get into it. So let me make this fast. So that happened. We got out of that.
What's the conversation with God in jail?
I was gonna get to that. So when I was in jail,
get to it then.
If there is a God, get me out of this.
Wait. You playing word games with God when you know it's a God? Mm-hmm. You know it's a God that done work for you, that done brought you back, that done saved you and rescued you, then had your back.
Still got a rebellious heart.
You got a rebellious heart while you're asking God. Wow.
And I didn't even, and I called myself being so real. Like, if it ain't no, whatever God it is, because I already know Jesus ain't God. So if whatever God it is, if you get me out this situation, get me out this situation. Because it was dudes in there waiting 800 days to go to court. 3 years to go to court. 3-4 years to go to court.
Wow.
And
that's a crazy delusion when you know who God is. He's showed up. He's rescued you, restored you. You've heard from him. You've interacted with him, and then you
I promise you, I didn't scream. I blatantly said I gotta be real. Crazy. I gotta keep it real with myself and say, nah, I ain't gonna do that, because I ain't gonna run to Jesus. I've been saying Jesus. I ain't running to Jesus. But if it is a God, let me get out of this, because I ain't doing, like, this was foul. This was wrong. I need an idea. Give me some way to get out of here. And my baby mama caught up there 40,000 times. The people called us to court and said, the judge told me, like, you need to, this person, is that your wife? And if not, you need to, because she got down here so many times. We were getting tired. So we got y'all to court early, and we want to see what y'all got to say for yourselves. And so we all had a story concocted. It wasn't that much drugs like people was thinking. And so we just gave them a little, we was down here, got a couple of ounces. We was down here partying. You know what I mean? We weren't trying to sell no dope. We was down here partying and blah, 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 blah. And we just wanted to take some home. Like, we hadn't finished what we was partying with. And we decided to take it on home with us. And, and I asked them to ban me from the state of Georgia. This was in what they call don't ever go down this road if you sell drugs, because you might not make it. Valdosta. Mm-hmm. And they told us, what up with you, Corn? And they told us, yeah, I told them ban me. I said, I'll take a ban. They like, no, we're not gonna ban you. We just gonna fine you. Whatever money you got on your personal, we're gonna take that, and we're gonna put you on probation, and we will transfer it down to your city. They never did that, and that never worked. And I just owed them a fine. And I used to have a little warrant, but they would never take me back. Like, when they jumped out on me in the city, they said the mileage was too long for the case. Like, it wasn't worth it. So they would never So I'm guessing like
They wouldn't extradite you.
yeah, I'm guessing like what we call a felony file, like would be the lowest felony. It's like that what the felony was up there, and they split since they didn't have one person to pit it on. They split the charges between everybody, like everybody in the same situation. Got a thing, and the only person who didn't come out with something is because we vouched for him was my guy because he was already fighting the case in the city, and so I convinced the guy who dope it was to, man, you gotta go in on this story with me because ain't had nothing to do with it. So let's just take responsibility and whatever happened, and that happened. Swear to God, nobody had to get told on. Even though everybody in the world of Cincinnati, swear to God, we was telling, ain't nothing happened. That was God again. That was God again. I promise you, like we didn't say nothing.
So you asked whatever God that it is, if it's a God, to answer you, to help you. You knew it was Jesus.
I was the only one that had any kind of God. Them guys wasn't. Them guys wasn't in front of God.
And he answered this. See, this how much God loved you. We was talking about before the show how much God loved you. We was having a conversation about that, and this how much God loved you. Even though you spit in his face, you kicked dirt in his eyes and said, Jesus ain't God, you ain't God. Well, and you tried to manipulate God.
Yeah, I said
you tried to manipulate God and dare God to be God. If you God, be God.
I didn't say if you Jesus God. No, I didn't do that. I just said if it's any God.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. But you knew who God was.
I refuse. They said Jesus one God, and I'm talking in the same tone. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna be real,
right? Because I'm asking. So this is what I'm understanding. It's sounding like you saying I'm a God. I'm gonna address you how I want to address you, and
if it's a God.
If it's a God, I ain't gonna even. I know it's a God, but I'm not even gonna approach you as if you're 100% real, even though I know that you are. And I'm gonna try to manipulate you into operating how I want you to operate by the name and the partial reverence that I give you, the partial acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it was deep. Knee deep in the dope game.
What up, Bang?
What's going on?
Chilling.
Hey, we just over here being knee deep in the dope game.
Man, drugs are bad.
Man, just say no.
So just finishing this up. So I'm gonna speed this up. So I go from that. After that, I get home. I continue in my drug dealing activities. I sold crack. I went to the joint twice after that. My last time I got out of jail, I said, I did 2 years. I said, I don't know if I'm going to still sell dope or not. I'm not going to say I'm not going to sell dope. I still didn't have a lot. And I said, this was 07. I said, I don't know. No, I got out in 09, but I got locked up 06, 07. I did like 2. So from 07 to 09, I was locked up and I was in the penitentiary. And before I got out, I was like, when people ask you what you're gonna do when you get out, I said, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna sell crack no more. I mean, this is what I know. I never knew no other way. Like I don't know. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I ain't gonna sit here and lie to y'all. Like I ain't gonna sell dope again, but I ain't gonna say I am because I don't know. Mm-hmm. And when I got out, and it's crazy because let me talk about my experience in the joint real quick. And that point in time when I was in the penitentiary this last time, when they labeled me they tried to give me an MDO, but it didn't stick, a major drug offender. Mm-hmm. At this time, because I got caught with a less amount, my first dope case in the city. I got caught with some grams and pieces, and they gave me a trafficking, I guess because it was pieced up. But when I got caught but when I got caught by the CIs and undercovers for them ounces, they only charged me with possession, but I stressed them out so long that I was going to take it to trial and make them put their witness on the stand, which at that time I thought it was one of my homeboys. I thought he wrote a statement on me, and me and that guy cool to this day. And if he did, that could have been the best thing he ever did for me. If he did, I still love you, bro. I love that guy. And we had to talk about it. He said, nah, he said he took it on the chin. He said that he alluded to the fact because he was mad at me because he felt like he got caught with my gun and I should have said something. This is with my gun. But you held the gun. You told me you took the gun and said, whoever, I'm going to love him. So it's your gun now. I don't know who's wrong or right in that situation, but he felt like I should have stood on business and took the gun case, even though you got caught with the gun, even though you asked for the gun.
Nah, you don't. Nah.
Yeah, he said.
If you're looking at street code, you get caught with the gun, it's in your possession. You got to take the case.
That's like I got the dope from you. I get caught with the dope. Like, hey, bro, I asked to use the dope and sell some of the dope, but this your dope though. Nah, that's your case, bro.
Right. It don't even matter if you were like, if he was just like, hey, let me see the gun. Let me look at the serial number. If the police come and you holding the gun,
you got caught with the gun.
You got caught with that, buddy.
Check this out. It wouldn't have been nothing I wouldn't have did to get dude out. We in the wholesale. I'm like, he gonna tell. Like we in the wholesale. He complaining for man. And what we gonna do? And how we gonna get out? I said, bro, I'm gonna get out. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get out. I don't care what the bond is. I'm going to get out, bro. I'm telling you, I got out. But before I got out, I happened to hear that. It came back to me that. Yeah, I was just, Real was down on the such and such. He was on the floor with me down here. He said, he asked it, should he tell on you? And I told him, what is that? My guy tell him, nah, bro, what's wrong? And as soon as he said it, I said, he telling. I said, no. And he ain't believe I was gonna get out. And I was like, I ain't thinking about dude. And I got out. And I stayed out too. It was overtime for me to go turn myself in. And so. I would have did anything to get him out once I got out because I went right back to selling dope. I ain't learned no lesson. I felt like I had the case beat because first of all, y'all didn't find no. But see, I ain't know about the confidential informant thing. I didn't know that the phone call probably was recorded. I didn't know that everybody in the car was a witness against me, maybe allegedly, and I was. When I went to my last court date, I was even like, man, if y'all give me like 6 months, I'd take the case. I'd take it because I had did like 90 days in the county before I got out. I'm like, I'd take that. I did it on my last case. So I'm like, I do this. They like, no, this felony 1, felony 2, school traffic. And the judge told me, like my second to last court date, like, if you lose this case, because I feel like you playing on my courtroom, Mr. Hoskins. If you lose this case, that I'm gonna give you 48 years. I'm giving you every last dime and drop of this time. Oh, as a matter of fact, it was like 60 years. I'm giving you all this. You got school zone infractions. You got this. You got that. You know what I'm saying? MDO, blah blah. I'm giving you all of this because I feel like I'm going to trial, and my lawyer asked for a continuance. I asked my lawyer. After the thing, I said, we good? He said, are we good if you want to? And he was he was from a good firm. Oh, good old Jewish firm. He told me, he said, hey, I got you. We gon', you know what I'm saying? And they was offering me 2 years off the rip, and I would not take it. 2 years was the lowest you could get on this charge.
Right. So for those who don't know, the game in the court system is if you get arrested, right? A lot of crimes fall into multiple other multiple charges, right? Just like you were saying, there's ways to get caught with drugs, you can get a major drug offender charge. If you were near a school, right, you can do a million different things, and they can run all these charges consecutively, right? They want to put as many charges as they can on you So you have to you have to plead guilty, because if you don't, if you fight it, you're taking a chance of doing so
A,
many years,
a
right?
zit.
Just like you said, they in a lot of situations they'll give you so many charges that you're facing 60 years.
Mhm.
So it's like, hey, do you want to take the chance of doing 60 years, or you could just take these 2 years right now?
Look, they got
And you know,
yeah. Look, they gave me 6 charges to begin with. 2 of them got ignored, but it's 4 of them still the same as the 2. Is they how you ignore 2 and still keep 4 because they had they felt like they, and so my whole thing about that I felt like that my guy. I felt like that my guy dropped a statement on me. I felt like them, even though there was you never took no crack off my person. I don't care what y'all talking about. They
Mhm.
never took no crack off my person. He tried to throw it back to me. I knew. I said I tried to get out the car. They was already there, slammed me. They crushed me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I knew it was a set. I felt it like right then and there, like something ain't right. Why dude taking all day? I got out, slammed me. And so while I'm in there fighting the case,
Is that how it sound?
yes, it was definitely it was more blood curdling than that. So when I got out, so when I finally got out of that situation, when I went to the last court date, my lawyer came to me. I said, what's good? You ready? He said, we taking it to trial. Well, what they talking about throwing it out with? He said, man, take the 2 years.
you got yeah.
He said, take the 2 years. They got something. Somebody talking, and I can't tell you who it is, because if I tell you who it is, then we gotta go to trial. So,
Yep.
so you either take these 2 years or we go to trial. Now, I said, is it more than one person? He said, yeah, it's more than one person. And I was trying to get him. Was it such and such? I was saying a name to him. He like, I can't divulge
Man.
you. I can't divulge that information to you. That means I gotta pull up a discovery. If I pull that discovery packet, you have to go to trial. Man, you got 4 or 5 months in, man.
So did that mean he knew and he wasn't gonna tell you, or he had to find out?
No, he knew. They know. He knew. He knew that he didn't have to pull that discovery because
He may not have had the names, but he knew that there was multiple. Yeah, that information is concealed until when you do a trial. That's how they keep informants safe.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
of
went
course.
into them chambers, and they said, hey, whatever. Hey, yo, Joffrey, we gonna slam your mans. Somebody they talking, and you can pull your discovery. You my guy. I'm telling you, get your money, get your money. But tell Buddy take them 2 years, man, because we don't feel like wasting the state's money going through all that. Tell him take them 2 years. And he looked me and he never gave me such a serious, because every time he would smiley faces, we knocking this down. And that last date, the second to last day, the judge told me he ain't gonna play with me. So that meant the judge felt like, I ain't gonna play with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make an example out of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so I never called on God in this situation. I just took it. I took the 2 years. I had 20 months left. I went up the road, did my 20 months, came home. And, I dealt with the fact, am I going? But I wanted to breeze through this last prison stint. So this last prison stint, I was in search for something. I was approached by every religious group known. The Christians, the ones that didn't approach me was the Christians, which was funny. And I'm already ready to argue down. Like I'm already hip to that, and I know what's up with that. I ain't with it. Jesus ain't God. I'm ready. I got my argument ready, but they never came. But the Muslims approached me.
Mm-hmm.
I studied the Quran. I read the Quran, and I didn't like them. They had too many rules that was stupid to me. So I said, that's stupid, and I don't want to. I'm cool. I read Malcolm X, and I seen how they play him. That made me furthermore not like the Muslims. So that was stupid. I ain't joining them. Then it was these 5%ers with the earths and the God and the circumference of the moon and the 360. And one individual made me not like them. A person in his personality means I don't like none of them. And so I studied all of that stuff while I was locked up. And I said to myself, I said that ain't it. I said I actually did say this. I would believe in Jesus before I believe in this. This is more believable than that. Like all the stuff y'all talking about, all this stuff y'all talking about don't even make no sense at all to me. And so I went home and I got back to business as usual. Now to think about selling dope and having these Nino Brown fantasies, my zeal and zest wasn't the same because I'd have been locked up. And I done had too many times being locked up. And I said, and I told myself, if I get locked up once for it, I'm going to quit. But I didn't quit. Then after the second time, I said, I get locked up again for this, I'm going to quit. And the third time, I didn't say that. I just was like, you know what? I should have stuck to the first time. But now I done put myself in a position. I'm coming out of that shell where I'm like, dang, I don't want to work, but I need some money. And so instead of hustling, I was peddling. I like to say, that's a lower form. I was still selling crack, but I would sell crack just to have a couple dollars in my pocket. I wasn't doing it for the jury and for the Nino Brown fantasies. I was out of gas for real. Like I ain't have the urge to like be that dude, but I still had all those entities of evil. I was still good. My personality, I still had all my connects and all the people that I could go to if I needed dope. And so I went to them and, you know what I mean? I got with my one guy and we was hustling together. And
just after the last time you went?
Just after the last time. But I was doing it on such a lower level, like I rapped about, I was trying to be a rapper and I had gracefully passed my days as a rapper. But I was doing that and I was mixing. I'm like, man, I'm trying to do this rap. I'm doing this music. I'm doing that. I ain't really worried about that. And I would use what I made from whatever drugs I was selling to proceed in the dope game. But I wouldn't even consider myself in a dope game, but I was in a dope game because if you get caught, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
But I was doing it so like a part-time job as to when I was in it. Mm-hmm. It was like, okay. And then one of the guys I hustle with, this is how I found God. One of the guys, after I had been out for like a year and a half too, one of the guys I used to hustle with, we was over at the house, we was working out. I live with my baby mama, we working out. And a situation happened with me and one of the guys, and I was upset and I went in the house and out of nowhere, like I heard that voice that said, Jesus ain't God. Mm-hmm. I literally I've told this story a million times. This after like a decade. I heard, so you still gonna say I ain't God? I ain't God. And it was Jesus. I felt it. I knew it right then and there. I surrendered. I dropped down. I surrendered. This I cannot make.
Hold on, y'all. What was y'all doing?
We was hustling, but we was working out, and I got it to one of my dudes, one of the guys. Like we got it to it bad, like almost physical. I think I mugged him or something. Like we got it to a physical altercation. We squared up, and I was so mad I ran the house. And this is out of nowhere. It was like I was thinking about that situation, and then it was clear, crystal clear.
You ran in the house to do what?
I just went in the house.
Okay.
Like after, I ain't going in the house to go grab nothing and do nothing. And then when I heard that voice, all right, I think we had been drinking, and because I remember waking up the next hangover. But that night I heard I could drop down, surrendered. I called my guy Show Body. I say, hey, man, I don't want this gun no more. You want to buy this gun from me? And he came and bought my gun. And then I went down to the nearest church and got a Bible. And I've been back in since then. And it's been a long road because it's been so much.
That when me and Bino was downtown, wasn't it?
Yep. It's been
coming back around downtown.
It's been so much. Like that didn't automatically change me from selling crack or hustling, petty hustling in between. Mm-hmm. Because for new levels, there's new devils. That's not a makeup. And so I was so unenthusiastic about selling crack and robbing people and doing that. But I did indulge in drugs. Mm-hmm. And so that's going to be on the next episode. But I started selling pills. I started selling ecstasy pills. And then that was my next. I was through with the crack part of the dope game. I became the pill man, and I did that. And his whole story is just to say, man, these questions I want you to run through too, so I can answer them. But you know, this whole part of me being involved and entangled in the dope game, Dag, I never thought about it till I just start talking about it right now. God took me away from troubles and led me out of identity crisis that I had with being a gang member. To I found my identity in selling crack and being fly and having money, and I was influenced by my homeboy, and then influenced by, you know, the accolades. I felt accomplished. I felt accomplished when I whipped up my first. Made my first crack pack from cocaine. When I first of all, when I bought my first ounce of cocaine, I felt accomplished because I bought that on my own. My second accomplishment was cooking it and making it right and selling it and making all this money. I felt accomplished. Learning how to stack my money was a third accomplishment. Fourth, now when I go to the club, I'm hanging with the dudes that used to be selling me dope. Now we out even, or they asking me advice on how did you do this? How you come up like that? What's your recipe? I've been hearing about you in the streets. I became from a little dude that used to run a block, little Scoob that run the block to school, one of them guys. He get money. You know what I'm saying? That made me feel big. It made me feel some type of way. And I wasn't living under my guy's shadow. Yeah, he had the murderous, he'd get you together type thing. And I was Scoob the hustler. He getting money. He standing on business. He getting cheese. And he gonna do something to you if you do something to him. But I didn't have that murderous thing on my back, but they knew I would stand on business. So that was a good reputation to have. I didn't have a bad reputation except for things that people made up. And that come with the game. That come with jealousy. And so that became my identity. And God was removed thence very far away from that. So, you know, I had an experience, and took me a long time to let go of that identity. Even I ain't been finished with the dope game more than 3 years. We're very close to. And what I say, like, I ain't been selling no crack in a long time, but I was selling pills and weed. And so, you know, things like that. So, man, it was crazy, man. But God, my last time I found God hustling again. Just like I found him, I lost him hustling now, and I denied him hustling. I picked him back up again hustling. And, you know, my desire and hunger for that part of the game wasn't really there no more. I ain't had a zest to take. Yeah, I ain't had a zest to take. Remember them days? Yeah, remember them days? So I ain't had a zest to get out there and do it. I remember one time, dang, I had so many different instances with the dope guy. I remember my guy jumped out my sister's window and stole this guy pack, man. And we went down to the other side of downtown and sold all of it. I didn't know what I was doing. We made about $60. Well, we probably could have made $1,000 on. We was tripping. But just I had so many different instances in my upbringing and things like that with the dope game. It was crazy, man. And yeah, man, that's my story about that, man. I got out of that thing, and it still was a continuous fight, but this time I never turned my back on God. But I still was still things that had to be stripped away and stripped away and knocked down and beat down off me. It was a progression, but God helped me and carried me, and my big disobediences got smaller, and some of them got caught off. But it was all an identity process, man. Just I found identity in things. I thought, for the most part, we was trained up that I remember my guy one time said, man, you think these girls like us because we cute? Man, we ugly. They like us because we get money. That's it. Just think about the training we had in our man. We make them laugh, but they like the money more than the laughs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And all the things that the watching Paid in Full, like my top 5 movies is all gangster, mafia, drug dealings, Paid in Full. I would watch Paid in Full, and man, next thing you know, I had to go get the North Face bubble down with the fur on it. You know what I'm saying? I had to have 3-4 leathers. I had all kind of gold watches and jewelry and gold teeth, and you know what I'm saying? I just had we in a club, we got the latest fits on whatever the new fashion was.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When we go to the club, we skip the line, we going straight to the front. All the concerts we had to be to, that was a part of the dope game image. That was a part of the image. That was a part of the life. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this. What do you think was like not more okay? How hard was it to, when you're coming out of that, when you get out of that, how hard was it to readjust to, I guess, normal society expectations as far as what is going to make somebody deal with you, give you a shot at whatever, a job, or tell you the truth about something when you coming from basically a situation where it was either about money or fear. It was never really based on solely or even mainly based on maybe your spirit or the love equity that you may have with somebody. It was more like what you could have done with somebody, because it kind of like describe navigating back through that to being able to see, like, because I remember, and this may not be associated, but the reason I'm asking this is because when you came out of that, and you say it all the time, you had 2 sets of friends. You basically had the Rico set of friends and you had the Dino set of friends. And
Dino, not Bino.
Right, Dino. Bino was in the Rico set of friends. Kind of. Bino was kind of a Bino set.
I was everywhere.
Right. He was your own set of friends. So when you was coming out of it, and you was getting back into doing music, and a lot of the conversations that we would have, you couldn't really hear me. And that's back in my brutal honesty days, and I probably wasn't the best at being understanding or patient, but I was honest and I was truthful about whatever it was. It could have been about music and doing music. It could have been about whatever, but it was a block on the hearing and the understanding. And I'm assuming it may have been part of the whole drug life, because that's a
quick, easy fix.
A days, a place that you're in. Everything is fast. Everything is at your whim. Everything is at your demand because you can pay for it, or somebody is fearful enough of you and the crew that they'll acquiesce to whatever you're asking. But then when you don't have that and you're not moving like that, how do you readjust to real life expectations?
Man, I couldn't have did it without God. I'm gonna tell you, man, it's hard. It's hard. Even up to the last time I sold pills, last pack I had, it was hard because we was just about to starting a podcast. And if it weren't like for God and my wife really was like, I don't want the stuff in my house.
Yeah.
She was my wife then too. I don't want the stuff in my house. around my kids. This neighborhood we live in is already like that. And it was when I first moved out. It's so crazy how it's flipped. Like the neighborhood like that, but the street we like that was bunk. It ain't like that no more.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they gonna call police on you now.
Mm-hmm.
And they love me over there. They have no idea who I was when I first moved on that street.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that transition was hard because I still had problems dealing with my wife making a little bit more money than me.
Mm.
If I lose this, what's gonna be my other income?
Mm-hmm.
My job, most of it, child support take most of my money.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm used to having this to fall back on. I did it 3-4 years. I had my own crib. Yeah, I made good money at that place, but they still got a large percentage of my money.
Mm-hmm.
And I could have made it without hustling, but then I'd feel like I had nothing left over to work with after I spent my money on my bills and put a little bit of food in the crib.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And what about my other kids that I'm not on child support for? I can't just, do what I want to do for them. I can't go out and have fun with the homeboys and do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of every time. It was hard going out with my guys and they always paying for stuff, bro. Like that, you don't know the strain to somebody's self-esteem and ego that you get, like when your homeboy, he pick up the bill every time. Your other homeboy, they do the same thing and you never pick up the bill because you don't got it. As opposed to if I was selling dope or I'm like, oh no, I got it. Oh, I got it. It's covered. With my other set of friends, I always got it. You could always come to me and ask me for something. Mm-hmm. Why do I feel like when I pair with this set of friends, I always got to be the one in the backseat getting a donation, like feeling like poor? It's a crazy
so that triggered your kid traumas about feeling poor and less than when you was coming, because I know exactly what you're talking about, and I remember
you know how good it felt. Hold on. You know how good it felt the one of many times, and you may have asked me a couple times, but the one of many times you asked me for something and I was able to say, oh yeah, I got you. Boom. And I sent it right to you because I had it.
Well, I remember this this one time when I think I can't remember. We just started the podcast or whatever. And you kept talking about you want to contribute. Just you like, nah, you do X, Y, and Z. I'll do everything we see. And then Bino will do the parts that he did. Bino buy stuff, and he, what I'm saying, me and Bino basically buy, and you do the stuff because we don't need that from you. And then when you got some money, you forced, like you gave me this $200, and me and Bino, we both talked about it because you kept saying I'm gonna give you out some money. He was like, no, don't give us no money. But I allowed you to. I took the money because, for one, you looked like you wanted to fight when you said.
Y'all. I felt pretty insulted and inflamed when y'all was like, because of, amongst the other things, I heard it later. Like, I got this delayed hearing thing. I heard it later. Like, man, we just need you to do what you need to do. Be on time. Do this. Take part. Don't be playing us on the content, man. We need you for that. We don't need you for that.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm like, man, I love them, bro. So anything I can add financially too, I want to do that because I'm a man too.
Right, but here's
that's just the pride and ego. Go ahead.
Ooh, what you just said is deep.
OD.
Wow. Said I
click the link, OD, and come in.
What'd you just say?
I, me.
Definitely be.
Right, but he mentioned something about I'm a man too.
Mm-hmm.
I want to pitch in financially.
Mm-hmm.
Let me explain something to you, School. I'll tell you, around that time, I was I was contributing financially because one, you know, it's just been a season for me financially, and that's the way I've been able to bless.
That's all he
But
could do. He ain't had no
but that's
time.
all I could do.
Yeah.
What's really more valuable is effort
Yeah.
than money. Like
Yeah.
we equate so much of like success or who you are or status on money, and it has nothing to like. Money is an easy thing to get. If you have it, you just give it. Boom, you're done. Right?
Mm.
Like that's an easy thing to do. Sweat equity,
Yeah.
that's a tough part. You know, they say like anything that feels good that didn't involve a lot of effort is probably bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think like when we was screaming like, yo, just do this, it's even showing a different level of love for the situation and dedication to the situation because you giving something that at the time I wish I could have gave, but I couldn't. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
I so would have rathered you done the, you know, all the other intricate stuff than giving me that money, because I didn't need the money. I needed help with all this stuff, with
And-
the marketing and the social media. All
Right.
this stuff is like, go ahead, Bino.
But Rico, here's the thing though. Here's the street code. This is what we grew up as men from where we're from, right?
Mm-hmm.
We think it's a manly thing just to drop off some bread to the baby mom and split.
Right.
You did your job.
Right.
Why don't you pick up your son? Man, don't I give you money every week?
Right. Right. Don't I keep him fresh?
Don't I keep him fresh?
I did all that.
Because we equate like we put money at such a high pedestal.
Yeah. An idol.
God, that ain't what God want us to do.
Yeah.
God want us to tend that garden.
Yeah.
Get your hands dirty.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Spend some time with them kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man,
Do the marketing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we equate, and that's the thing. When you switching over from stop selling dope to like getting into the world of like working.
Mm-hmm.
One, just getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. You work real hard and you got to wait 2 weeks to get some money. That's an adjustment in itself. It's actually really, really hard for someone that's used to getting money every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, with little effort.
Yeah.
Secondly, it takes a lot of humility. A lot, like you have to have some humility to be able to adjust, and you have to see the devalue in everything that you thought was valuable.
The renewing of your mind.
You have to renew your mind. You have to sit back and look at all the damage you've done. It's not cool. It's not a cool thing. I made money. I did this. You know how many families you were involved in destroying?
Man.
Yeah.
Like think about, they got documentaries on the destruction of a race with crack.
Yeah.
What was we doing for years? We was a part of that genocide. We was a part of that destruction.
Yeah. Yeah.
We did that.
Yeah.
What you doing?
But we did it. But we was making money though. We was fly.
It's all for real. It's you know what? It's the dope game and the crack era is just like hip hop, because just like what you just said, Bino, but we was making money and we was providing and I might not be selling dope to nobody in my immediate family. And my immediate family reaps the benefits of whatever licks we hit or whatever. But what about the rest of the world? So then we get rappers who promote and exalt all of the worst things for us, all in the name of getting my family. But what about my family?
Look.
And what about
right,
his?
Check. Look. The money, the entertainment business as a whole. Man, when I was in the dope game, I'm talking about, I would watch a movie. I would be broke. I would have no money. I done messed up the pack. I done did something. I done clubbed too much. I know how to get it though. Hold on. Let me pop in Paid in Full. Man, I watch it 2-3 times, man. I'm like, that's you, bro. You need to get up and you a hustler, man. Go out there and get this money, man. You gonna be Ace and you gonna be Mitch. I'm out the game. Yo, nah, I ain't out the game. I'm about to go out here and get this money. I'm going to get this money. And that
was your that was you spending time in your word and going out and discipling. You know what I'm saying? That was your
I was gonna ask that question. Is weed a bad truck? Did that weed affect us? I don't want to. It's been a long time, man. It's a statute of limit. While my weed plug keep coming in, it's like what? My weed plug keep coming in on the. Yeah, so my guy, right? You know what I'm saying? When I wasn't selling crack, and I messed that up, I was selling weed, and that was my guy, and he asking right now, was weed a bad? And I got that question right now inside my thing. Do you consider weed a bad drug? Is selling weed bad? I
would say illegally selling drugs is bad. Committing crimes is bad. Let's just keep it really simple. Yeah. Like we can get into, if the drug is bad, or not, but I can just keep it really simple and say, if it's illegal, it's a bad thing to do.
Yeah.
It creates more damage than what someone would think, because they think of it as a harmless substance, which whatever. But if you're committing illegal crimes, it's a part of the same pipeline. Like,
well, even if it's just on the surface of, you don't have to create that problem for you.
Listen, let me ask you a better question, Corn. Check this out. Did you ever get in trouble for doing it? Did you ever had to hide from the law or hide things from the law to do it? And that answers your question. Because you did. You did. If you had to, if I only get caught with this amount of weed, yeah. He said, okay, as far as the law, he said, about if you got caught with a certain amount of weed, you ain't going to jail. You're going to get a ticket. I think about back in the days when we used to be out on the corner selling weed, and I used to think like, well, if I get caught, as long as I don't got 30 dime bags bagged up, I ain't getting no trafficking for this. I'm gonna get a minor possession. They're gonna take my little ounce of weed.
I feel like you sneak dissing right now.
I mean,
as soon as I heard that, I was like,
I mean,
and I knew the peanut brother was over there holding back his laugh.
You already know. You say anything about more than 20 dime bags, it is Rico.
It wasn't even 20 dime. It wasn't 30 dime.
It was 89 of them.
It was 89 dime bags. He was gonna make him a few hundred.
Anyway, whatever. This ain't my drug story.
Right. This is your drug story.
It's your drug story.
Oh no, I was just asking this question though. Like he was asking.
It's only you.
He was asking. My guy was asking, what do you consider weed a bad? Is it? Yeah, it's damaging. They say weed is a gateway drug. I don't. Oh yeah, CI got me caught up. They went and searched my house. I was facing. Go ahead. What the comment say? A CI got me caught up. They went and searched my house. I was facing fine, but a good lawyer kept me good when Reno was out. See what I'm saying though? But that's trouble. That's damaging. That's money you had to spend, and it was just stupid. I mean, it was illegal.
I mean, at the end of the day, you want your kid to sell weed or be a doctor.
Right. That's a good way to put it. I mean, yeah, because we could do semantics, not semantics. We can go through all the different nuances of what's what, and is this inherently, this inanimate object, is it inherently evil or bad or wrong? It comes down to wisdom.
Yeah.
It comes down to wisdom. It's doggone it, my camera keep going out.
And come down to wisdom. And as I think about it, this Nino Brown fantasy, I tell you, I can't tell you how many times that I watched them movies, man, and I wore them uniforms like, this is who I am today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, I can. One thing I wanted to call out, and I don't know about you, Scoob, but and by any means, I'm not saying this with a victim approach.
Is that the corn that stayed next door to Ray Ray?
Corn did stay in light skinned Corn.
Did he stay next door to Ray Ray?
No, but I think him and Ray, Corn, did your mama stay on
Did
Garden
you stay
Lane?
on Garden Lane, Corn?
Steve, you know him. You definitely.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, light skinned Steve, Corn.
Yeah, he stayed across the alley from. I think that's him. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
I gotta hop off, but I wanted to say something.
Oh, my bad.
And that's a beautiful thing, man. Unfortunately, that's not how it happens for most.
Yeah, that is him, Garden Lane. Okay, yeah. What up, dog? Yeah.
You got individuals. Most individuals that I know that had parents that sold drugs. They a lot of times they followed in those footsteps, but that's dope, man. Congratulations on your daughters being nurses, man.
Amen.
That's super dope. And with that being said,
my kids ain't got
and me growing up, and I sat back right before I jumped on. I'm like, did I have any people that I looked up to that weren't drug dealers growing up?
Wow.
I couldn't think of any.
Yeah.
Rico,
maybe like a Michael Jordan.
No, not. I'm talking. He talking about the big D's and his like. Nah.
I can't think of any. When I looked at when I stepped outside on Snow Hill,
mm-hmm.
It looked like most of the people were struggling, and the people that were not,
they were selling dope.
They were selling dope.
Mm-hmm.
From my dad, my cousins,
mm-hmm.
everybody I've ever looked up to.
Good.
Yeah. That's. But and I think that's like that for a lot of folks. Like that's all they really have seen of success.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I forgot to send the link to my one guy. We'll catch him on the next one. we got entangled in this conversation, which was great.
Yeah. So let's see.
But
good one. Did you ever feel accomplished, or was it always like you were chasing were you I mean, is it a place in selling dope that you could feel accomplished?
Man,
I don't
listen,
think it is.
I gave you stages. I felt accomplished because everybody knew I was the man getting money. I felt accomplished. This is so crazy. I felt accomplished that Bino heard across town, your brother down there doing this thing. I felt accomplished when my mama said, I was at a meeting and one of my friends that used to smoke crack, she came in and said, your son down there fat selling dope, he getting all the money. I felt accomplished. I felt accomplished Yeah.
But here's the thing though, and I think I know what you're talking getting to. I got a really bad echo.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why. I can't hear it, but you can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
crazy. But how long does that accomplishment last?
What about now?
Man.
Hello.
Those accomplishments,
Echo.
those are changed over, turned to embarrassments. Like especially with my mom. With my mom,
exactly.
My mama was scared for me. My mama, she was telling me because she was scared for me that she heard that all the way where she was at, and she was like, "Be careful, son. They talking about you down there selling a whole lot of crack." And I don't want you doing that, but you grown and you gonna make your own decisions.
Right.
Now, you got your own place. I don't know why you're not working and doing what's right. But my friend came and told me that you're down there fat like the penguin and you're selling a whole lot of dope.
But you know how many folks we know that have made millions, that have $5-10 million, and still they can't stop it. The accomplishments never. I don't think it never ends. It's a demonic chase that you're doing. It's something that you're trying to fill a void. It can't be filled at all.
I don't know why it's an echo for you, Ben. You said, it's a real bad echo for you. Go out and come back in.
Well, it's all right. I'm about to hop off anyway. Listen, love y'all.
Love you too, bro. Thank you.
Everybody say no to drugs.
Say no to drugs. Dare to keep people getting off drugs.
Yeah. All right.
Love you. Love you too, bro.
And your haircut crispy.
It's synthetic. I got the you know what I mean, you know what I'm saying?
You got some razzle dazzle.
I got a little razzle dazzle today. I got a fancy date with my baby tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I had to.
Got some hocus pocus.
How's she doing? She feeling better?
We good to go.
Amen.
We good to go.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Peace.
Yeah. So let's see. This is a pretty dumb question, but we're gonna ask it anyway. Do you feel at this point in your life could you ever see yourself for any reason returning to the dope?
Nope. It don't make no sense. Now, even now, as logic serves me, I ain't gonna lie. I'll be telling the truth. Sometimes when I get frustrated, sometimes I think about selling some weed. But no, I just for one, it's not the right thing to do. For two, selling any kind of crack or hard drug whatsoever, that you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
You're never gonna win.
Yeah.
I'm talking about even if it's just watching over your shoulder all the time. I don't care. We in the dope game, we got this thing called going on a run. Like, man, I had a 10-year run. He had a 20-year run. They never get caught. How could you truly enjoy life under that kind of scrutiny, though?
Right.
Where you got to say how long of a run you had. You know what I'm saying? I had a 5-year run, then I got caught. Like, just know 98% of the time you're gonna get caught. Be glad, but don't be ecstatic that you in that 2%.
Right.
You lucky.
Yeah.
98% of the time you're gonna get caught, and you're gonna be telling the story about you have this 25-year run until such and such told on you, until your defense is weakened and the weakest link got in and got the whole organization shut down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the exception to the rule only reinforces the rule.
Yeah, so I mean, it's only good for a couple of times, but there's nothing spiritually or logically that could make me. This the only thing now I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm I'm gonna tell you. That's deep. I stopped selling dope at 14. Had to have what everybody wanted. That's weed. I got you. So, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what I struggle with, and it's me being honest. What do I do if I go outside and find a brick of cocaine right now? Do I call the cops?
Man,
Do I flush it?
listen, I ain't sold drugs or nothing in way longer than you. And I've had thoughts like that, like as if the immediate thought ain't
what? I'm gonna bang this.
no.
What?
The thought should be and is, I mean, I wouldn't do nothing. I don't but you do say, but you don't do nothing. Like you wouldn't like
Call the cops. Nothing.
you wouldn't throw it away. You wouldn't move. You wouldn't give you like what? It's like, no, I wouldn't do nothing. It's like, I guess, I mean, for real, in the spirit of love and kingdom, you would think to maybe dispose of it. But what if I pick it up and let's just say I'm trying to throw it away
and get caught with it.
Task hit, or somebody dropped it and somebody see me pick it up, and now, I mean, that's just so far-fetched. Like, why?
Hey, Rico, we back in the game, baby. We got 2 for 3s, 4 for 5s. See?
I mean, that's how most of us think.
Right. Nah, I mean, honestly, I think I keep it pushing. I believe in my heart of hearts. I keep it pushing.
I would too. I mean,
I keep it pushing, man. It'll be hard. I ain't gonna lie.
It won't be hard for me. I'm
that temptation. Because I'm still dealing with my own.
Yeah, you way fresher out of it.
And my own set of financial grievances and what I could do with this. Like, you know what I'm saying? My wife said she found an ounce of weed at the store one day. I said, "Why you ain't give it to me?" This was like last year. I mean, I would have got rid of that weed real quick. Ain't nothing but weed. She like, so you ain't need it. I gave it to one of them dudes down in front of the stove. Probably was theirs anyway. I found it and I gave it away. And I was pretty peed off for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm just being transparent.
Do you feel like you ever hurt somebody in a dope game?
I know I have because what entails the dope game. See, the dope game come with robberies. See, it'll be like walking past a bag of money. Our money ain't good money. Yeah. But I don't think no money good. I think it's here for the reason it need to be here and need to be used. We utilize it for the reason that it's made. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that where was I going? I done lost my step.
You heard you only spoke on certain things.
Yeah, I only spoke on what happened to me when I got robbed. I got home invaded before. Somebody slapped me with the pistol and robbed me. Somebody set me up. I don't know if it was my baby mom's. I don't know if it was somebody who was just hating. It was just a really odd situation I got ran up on. I got robbed numerous times just because of the jealousy and the envy of the game when you up like that. And he got it. I have been stolen from on numerous occasions in the dope game. I've had more than 10 guns. I've had several guns held to me, and then we going vice versa. There, I done went up in the houses. Mm-hmm. I done robbed you, bare mad, bare face. Come get me if you gonna do something. They know I run with the killers. What you gonna do? Mm-hmm. You don't know if I kill somebody, but you believe it because you know all my guys is murderers. Mm-hmm. Period. And so I play with that part of the game.
Not these guys.
I've been shot at. People have been shot back at. You know what I'm saying? It's just that whole life is crazy. See, the dope game entails all of these dangers for you not to have a long, expedient life. Either your life get took away because you get you get a large portion of your life took away because of jail, or it get took away instantly by death. Mm-hmm. And it's just death and destruction. And because we have these complexes of identity, and we have these
self-esteem issues.
These self-esteem issues, these identity issues. We lean towards the worst things. Like one of the first things I did with a dabble, I mean, the gang life and the drug. But you know, even when I got to the drug game, we used to dog the gang. Like, gang, man, they ain't getting no money. They broke. Are you gang banging, beating up people? Man, you can't get no money like that. So that was another reason why I phased the gang mode out, because I was like, I ain't getting no money doing that. And then I know some people who did both. But when I got real heavy in the crack game, man, 3 for the me. You know what I'm saying? That's me. Everything me, even the God I served was me. Everything was about me, my family, my kids. And most of the guys I was around that was like that. And it just was really bad. It was really bad, man. We were taught to value money more than life itself. And that was my Nino Brown fantasy, man. I wanted to, I gotta thrill off all the money that I could flash, slapping you with a bankroll. How stupid was all the money that I wasted?
Right.
I could have did much more. I could have paid off all my child support then. Instead, I'm buying bottles after bottles.
Never had your license.
Man, listen, man, check. I could have paid off every fine, everything that I ever had going on with all that money I had at dope game. I squandered it. And then we like to end with this. It was fun. It wasn't really that fun. So,
yeah, like they always say, the flesh should take you further than you were willing to go, make you have you stay longer than you willing to stay. And I forget the other part, but y'all get it.
Yeah, man. And we still every day tearing down these idols, man. The love, it's not that the love of money, the love for money is the root of all evil. And within those things, it's identity issues. Money, having money and being able to secure a lot of things, it builds into your ego. And the dope game at that time gave me a facade bigger than I was. I used to love hearing people call me Scoob the Hustler. Scoob gonna get that money. Now what? People like, it's an illusion. Like, people to this day always still think that I got more than I ever had. That's crazy. And I used to think that illusion was cute, but now it don't feel so good. Especially when you walk in a straight line. I don't want that attention. I don't need all that. It's all good. It's all God. So anybody that know me that can attest to these stories, oh, you know what I'm saying, know that it's real, understand that there was no lies told today. And know that, you know, Rico had to reach in the bag and let y'all know about my mission with God along this journey. I went in, I left, I came into God, and I went out of God hustling, doing evil. And I came back into God, and I end up eventually leaving that lifestyle alone, knowing that God is suffice, knowing God is sufficient in all things. You know what I'm saying? Anything else is self-inflicted from here on out, and I have to deal with the consequences of my actions. So, if you know me, and you heard something, and you seen something, and you know me, because there's a lot of my friends like, man, Scoob, get that cheese. Or even the person I was dealing with, oh, they're going to get some money. You know what I'm saying? You know what's going on. And you like, man, I see the change in him, man. I see that God is real because I know how he got down. Because look, everything I did it to the full. When I was in the gang life, I did it to the full. When I sold drugs, I did it to the full. When I, you know what I'm saying, womanized, I did it to the full. And this is much more to this story. And God brought me through it all. So if you heard something that's pulling your spirit saying, I seen in his life to change, I believe that, this is a call to salvation. But what does it say in the word? And this is Romans chapter 10, verses 8 through 11. But what does it say? The word is near you, in your mouth and in your heart. That is the word of faith that we proclaim, because if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For with the heart one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. For the scripture says that everyone who believes in him will not be put to shame. Lord, we thank you today for bringing your revelation across to so many others out there that feel like they stuck in a position where they can't stop selling hard drugs, where they feel like money and hitting licks is the only way they're going to survive. Lord, I tell you and I tell them today, Lord, I thank you for being a sufficient provider, that you make all things possible, that all the miracles I have in my life is because I believed in that man Jesus' name, that I believe that he died for me, and I believe with my heart, and in every situation, even when I turned my back on him, when I said,
he was still there.
God, I believe you, please save me. He pulled me out of a situation. So I could be here for you today to talk to you, to tell you.
He ain't even hold no grudge.
Not at all.
Wow.
That I love you. Come to me. Come home. And I believe in my heart, and I say with my mouth, whatever he believe in, I believe in too. In the name of Jesus, amen. Welcome to Life Row.
Blessed side is the best side.
The blessed side is the best side. So, we as we conclude this, you can find us on Facebook. All that, I was all that. All that. He just drew out my whole identity in one in one stretch. I love you, bro. Still praying for you, bro.
Yes, sir. Thanks for checking in.
So follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Crown of Glory 360. Also follow us on YouVersion Bible app, the Bible app where we do a Bible plan according to the podcast of Kingdom Culture every week on whatever the topic is this week. And I think we've been in 1 week already, and next week we doing a plan on humility that starts today. So YouVersion Bible app, that's you in version, one word. Type that in on your Android or iPhone. It's in your Play Store. It's free. Over 100 different translations. So whatever you need to do, however you need to do to get in that Bible plan, make you a profile just like you make on Facebook, and it's easier. And I'm gonna add you to the Bible plan today. So make sure you add it in. We love to see you in the YouVersion Bible app, chiming in, liking and commenting, and being a part of the community and fellowshipping with us. Also, YouTubers at YouTube Crown of Glory 360, where you can catch us now. We on episode 4. Push the Rock podcast, where it's revelation for the nation. We come from a kind of a different angle, but it's still all good and it's still all God. And we come to do what we do best: spread love. That's the blessed way. That's the Yahweh. Peace.
Anyone comes to me and put anything or anybody before me in any capacity, that's your child, that's your mama, that's your wife, that's your friend, that's yourself. If you put you before him, you may be my disciple. I need you absolutely surrender to me, because I got something for you. I put a deposit in you, and I need my
ROI.
Yeah.
For this reason, since the day we heard about it, we have not stopped praying for you, asking specifically that you may be filled with the knowledge of his will and all spiritual wisdom, with insight into his purposes and to understanding of spiritual things, so that you will walk in a manner worthy of the Lord, displaying admirable character, moral courage, and personal integrity, to fully please him in all things, bearing fruit in every good work, steadily growing in the knowledge of God, with deeper faith, clear insight, and fervent love for his precepts. We pray that you may be strengthened and invigorated with all power, according to his glorious might, to attain every kind of endurance and patience with joy, giving thanks to the Father, who has qualified us to share in the inheritance of the saints and the light. Amen. Love y'all.
Well, there's 2 point of views that's needed in that, in the marriage aspect. You know, those who have wisdom.
Leave the sound effects to me, bro. Don't make me mute your mic.
But yeah, with those 2 point of views, man, before you get married, it's important that you set a foundation, and there has to be a foundational will.
Well, we just trust in you, and we thank you. And no matter what situations, no matter what it looks like, what it may feel like, your word stands taller than everything. So we just want to just give you praise, thank you, and give you honor and glory, knowing that your promises are indeed 100%, 1 billion%, 1 trillion% true indeed. And we thank you, Lord, in the name of Jesus.
Amen.